try this in Sharpie so that you can see better what I'm doing. The first thing I'm going to do is create kind of a border around the edge, and I'm not trying to make it perfectly perfect. I'm going to focus on my roses here because I am celebrating my garden. You can certainly draw my roses too if you want to, but my hope is that you would draw something that brings you joy, that you enjoy doing. So focusing on that. I did kind of an outline, but now I'm going to go right to the center, kind of make this little center part and whirl around. This big pink one is called Gertrude Jekyll. That's her name. She's named after a famous gardener. She smells really good, but she has really big, bad, crazy thorns. But that is how life is. If you want something really sweet and special, you have to figure out a way around the thorns. Okay, so that's the first one, and I'm going to put her leaves here. Here. And then this one is just the bud. It's starting to open, but it's got a different kind of shape. Here we go. Her name is Nahima. She was named after a princess, I'm not sure. And then this big fat white one is next. And it's got so many petals that it's hard to see where they end. This one's called Woolerton Old Hall. It's just named after a really pretty garden location. Okay, so I have my basic shapes now. And I'm going to paint those in a little bit, and then I'm going to look up and do some research and write some facts about roses in this space that I left space for. And I might add just a really beautiful word at the top with some like interesting font, so it's more like a sort of like labeling it as a research space. So I'll have my facts here, my title here, and my beautiful example here. So this is going to be a painting which is going to be a research sort of painting. So I'm going to do my painting of my roses, which I drew. I tried to draw them for you, but it cut out. I'm going to paint my roses, and then I'm going to spend some time Googling facts about roses, or I could look them up in a book. And I'm going to write those things in this space that I've left to the side of my roses. So I'm just going to show a little bit of my painting process, and then I'll show you what it looks like with the research there. I think it's a really pretty way to share information. We call that idea beautiful evidence. So factual evidence, but it's really beautifully shown. And these are my roses. This is Gertrude Jekyll and Nahima and Old Woolerton. Oh, sorry, Woolerton Old Hall. Those are all types of roses. I didn't name them. Just the names they came with. And I'm just blending this orange out. It's not an orange rose at all. Just fading it out so it becomes a white rose, but just that color, you know, it gets darker in the middle through shadows and stuff. So there's my Woolerton. And then I'll switch to pink in the center. Fade that out a little bit. And then these are similar in color, but I'm going to go ahead and switch my reds so that they don't look quite so similar in my painting. I did this in Sharpie first so that I'm not going to mess my lines up with my watercolor. So I started with a color, and now I'm basically just fading to water. I'm going to add a little more color and just keep going with my water. Roses have a beautiful way of being darker in the center because there's so much more petals in the center. Now I'm going to switch to my leaves. Whoops. And you could do this with whatever you wanted. You could use crayon, you could use marker, paint, pastel, oil pastel, whatever floats your boat.